The sport of baseball has been around since the late 1800s, but for the first time in 2019, history was made in the Baseball Hall of Fame. What's going on, guys? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another baseball video. As you guys can see by the jersey that I'm wearing, this is my Cooperstown collection old school Rays jersey. As you guys can tell, it is Wade Boggs, but there's another player that was from the Rays that we're going to talk about later on in the video who did not make the Hall of Fame. But for right now, let's talk about the players that did. Also, just to warn you guys, I might tear up a little bit throughout this video just because there was a player, he did pass away. He was one of my favorite players growing up. I'm not going to name names just yet, but you probably already know who it is. But if I start to tear up, don't judge me, okay? I just love baseball, and this guy was great, so it sucks that he's not here anymore. So the first thing that I want to address is the guys that were inducted today will be joining Harold Baines and Lee Smith because those two players were inducted via the Veterans Committee. So the one thing I want to say is I already referred to someone not getting into the Hall of Fame because it was their 10th and final year on the ballot and they did not get in, but there is still a chance. They can take the Veterans Committee approach just like Harold Baines and Lee Smith, so don't get upset if your favorite player did not get in because they still have a few more chances. On July 21st, 2019, the next four players will be joining Harold Baines and Lee Smith in the Baseball Hall of Fame, and for those of you that have never been to the Baseball Hall of Fame, let me just tell you, it is absolutely breathtaking and I couldn't be happier for these guys. Baseball is my passion and I cannot wait to go back because it's been about 10 years since I've been to Cooperstown. But without further ado, let's talk about the four players that were inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2019.
The 3-2 pitch to Edgar Martinez on the way. Swung on, fly ball hit deep to right field. Jacques Jones to the track. The wall, there is number 300 for Edgar Martinez.
Edgar Martinez finally got into the Hall of Fame. This was his final year on the ballot. A lot of people were saying that he might not get in because for whatever reason, the designated hitter does not get as much respect as the other positions. A lot of people do make a valid point that you're not playing defense, so why do you deserve to be in the Hall of Fame if it's only offensive stats? But in my opinion, Edgar Martinez was such a force at the plate, you have to put him in. Especially when I read off these stats, he had a .312 lifetime batting average. He was a 5-time Silver Slugger. He had over 500 doubles, over 300 home runs. The man could do it all in the box, and if you were an imposing pitcher, I don't care who you were. If you were a pitcher, you did not want to face Edgar Martinez, and that's proven by this stat right here. So these are his stats versus the three pitchers that are on this year's ballot. He hit over 300 against Roy Halladay, Mariano Rivera, and Mike Mussina. So those are three Hall of Fame pitchers potentially, and he hit better than 300 against all of them. So Edgar Martinez, yes, finally in the Hall of Fame. Way to go, Edgar.
This is fly to center field. It settles into the glove of Vernon Wells, and Roy Halladay has one hit the Yankees.
And this is where I might get a little heavy-hearted because Roy Halladay, man, I remember watching that Phillies team. I didn't really watch him when he was with the Blue Jays, but as soon as he went over to the Phillies, Cliff Lee was one of my favorite players in the league. Shane Victorino, I played with his stepson, so I was really familiar with the Phillies. And as soon as Roy Halladay was traded and I just saw the way that he pitched and the way that he controlled games, again, it really sucks. His family is, they're very proud of him. It really sucks to say that he is no longer with us. If you guys have forgotten, he did tragically die in a plane accident. Whatever you guys want to think about that, that is up to you guys to form your own opinion, but he left behind a family. But honestly, his stats, they're definitely Hall of Fame worthy, so let's get into them. In 16 Major League seasons, Roy Halladay had a 67% winning percentage, which is one of the best in Major League Baseball history. He also won the Cy Young Award, not just once, but twice, and he is one of the few pitchers to do that in baseball history. He threw a couple no-hitters, but in my opinion, I think that his best moment came right here.
Is one strike away, the 0-2, a bouncer, Ruiz, in time! Roy Halladay has thrown a no-hitter.
So we saw that it took Edgar Martinez 10 years to get into the Hall of Fame. Again, you have to get 75% to be inducted. Roy Halladay on his first chance goes in as a first ballot Hall of Famer. The one thing about Roy Halladay is he is the first player since Christy Mathewson to be inducted as a first ballot Hall of Famer, but not be alive to actually accept the award and accept his induction. So again, guys, to his family, there's Brandy, Ryan, and Braden. My heart goes out to you because Roy, he was amazing.
One out. The 1-2 pitch. Struck him out with a curveball. The tag out by Posada, who picked it out of the dirt. And Mussina with his 13th strikeout. Mike Mussina, this is the closest he's ever come. 1 out away.
Coming up next, we have another player that spent quite some time on the ballot, Mike Mussina. If you guys don't remember, he played with the Orioles, but most of you guys remember him as a Yankees pitcher. Mike Mussina was incredible at simply winning a ball game. He doesn't have the lowest career ERA in the Hall of Fame, but this guy was special. Mike Mussina had 15 or more wins 11 times throughout his career, and also 2/3 of his career wins came in hitter-friendly ballparks. We're talking about Fenway Park, Yankee Stadium, and Camden Yards at Orioles Park. So we know that Mike Mussina might have even had better stats and a better career if he played elsewhere, but instead he chose to play in places that were pretty beneficial towards hitters. So he did have the inflated stats just a little bit, but his career was still amazing nonetheless. So Mike Mussina, the 3rd out of 4 players to get inducted in 2019. Who's going to be number 4?
Of any kind. A 16 pitch, 3 up, 3 down.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have made baseball history, which is a little bit weird to say. I'm not going to hold my pitchforks or anything like this. We have the first unanimously selected player going into the Baseball Hall of Fame, Mariano Rivera. I'm going to talk about his stats real quick, and then I'm going to show you guys a little bit of why I'm kind of curious as to why he's the first unanimous, considering there was other players before him that probably should have been unanimous. But we are not going to poo-poo Mariano. I don't care. This is a time to celebrate, not a time to get your pitchforks. I'm going to have to drink a cup of water for this next guy because his stats and his accolades throughout his career are absolutely incredible. So Mariano, here's to you, man. Mariano Rivera was first in saves in Major League Baseball history. He is 3rd in career whip. He had a sub-2 ERA 11 times. That is absolutely insane. You're not supposed to do that as a professional baseball player. He was 8-1 in the postseason with a minuscule 0.7 ERA. And also another thing that we have to keep in mind with Mariano is he first signed at 20 years old as a starting pitcher. He could not get it done. I'm not sure what it was with his mechanics, but then one day he was playing catch with one of his buddies and he figured out that his fastball was starting to cut, and that's all she wrote. Once he developed that cutter, man, it just became easy at that point. I am insanely happy for all of the 4 guys that were voted in today. We have Mike Mussina, Edgar Martinez, Roy Halladay, and Mariano Rivera. The guys that came before them, Harold Baines and Lee Smith, they're about to open up the doors for a whole bunch of different players. The one note I do want to make about the first unanimous pick into the Baseball Hall of Fame being Mariano Rivera, it's a little weird. 43 people did not think that Mickey Mantle was a first ballot Hall of Famer. 11 people did not think that Babe Ruth was a first ballot Hall of Famer. So in my opinion, it might just be perfect timing that it's 100% right now, because I think the game is starting to change. I think a lot of baseball nerds are finally taking a step back and they're looking at the quality of the career as opposed to he did not get 300 wins, so we are not going to give him my vote. So I think this is an amazing day for baseball. I think this is going to be a big day for people like David Ortiz and other pitchers to come, like Cole Hamels, because Cole Hamels is kind of on the same trajectory as Mike Mussina. So we'll see how that goes once his career is over. Now I do have to talk about a few more things because we just talked about the amazing players that were inducted. Now it's time to talk about the players that were not inducted. So the reason why I'm wearing this Rays jersey is because Fred McGriff, he spent a good amount of time with the Rays. He only had 39%, and this was his 10th year on the ballot, so he is completely off. But there's still a chance for him to make the Hall of Fame via the Veterans Committee, so we'll keep a lookout for that. Kurt Schilling went up 9% compared to 2018. Larry Walker, one of the best all-around players of all time, he went up 20%, so he is looking good going into 2020. We'll see how that goes. The 2 players that everyone had their eyes on, Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens. Now, those are 2 guys that are suspected. I'm not sure if they've been proven just yet of taking performance-enhancing drugs, considering that they were on the Mitchell Report and everything else in between. They were named by Jose Canseco, so we'll see how they do. They did go up 2 to 3% each in 2019, but what does that mean going forward? They're on their 7th attempt. Next year will be their 8th, so if they're not going to get in through the actual Hall of Fame process, are they going to get in through the Veterans Committee? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section down below. Is Barry Bonds a Hall of Famer? Is Roger Clemens a Hall of Famer? Yes or no? Let me know why. So guys, thank you all so much for watching. That is going to do it for today's video. I hope that you did enjoy. Again, if you agree with any of these picks, if you disagree with any of these, let me know in the comment section down below. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Congratulations to all the candidates. I know none of them are watching right now, but if you so happen to be watching, I just want to say congrats. And also a special little congrats to Roy Halladay and his family, because I just have a soft spot for that. I know some things happened with Roy up in the air, and there was a lot of debate about that. But you know, right now, we're going to celebrate Halladay for his career, and I think that's the right way to do it. So guys, thank you all so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.